Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I welcome all of you to our 28th session of Bhagavad Gita. As we all know, the objective of this class is to enable reading of the shlok, to understand the meaning of the shlok, and to help understand the basic philosophy of Gita. We are on chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. This is divided into 5 parts. And the first part is Arjun's question, where Arjun asks Arjun's question whether it's sannyas or nishkam karma yoga. And then the second section is from shlok number 2 to 5, where Krishna says that nishkam karma yoga is equal to but easier than sannyas. And then we have today we have completed that much. Today we'll start from 5.6 and we'll try to cover till Shlok 5.12, which is characteristics of Yukt Yogi. So let us quickly see what we have covered in the last session. So Arjun, after we went in detail about that question, Arjun's first, in the 5th chapter, the first Shlok, Arjun asks Krishna for clarification based on the last 2 Shlok of Krishna in the 4th chapter. Arjun is again confused and he repeats this question which he had asked in the 3rd chapter also. Oh Krishna, please help me to understand what I should do. Should I take sannyas, that is renounced work, or I should work? So he asked this question, and then Krishna replies that Nishkam Karma Yoga, which is working in the spirit of renunciation. Working in the spirit of renunciation, that is a karma, right? And sannyas, which is renunciation of work, are both same. But for Arjun, working is better than premature renunciation. Yeah, because we have already learned earlier, if someone is not mature enough and goes for premature renunciation, it will not succeed, right? They will actually, after going to sannyas, they will like to come back and will be in a dilemma, and actually they will enter into do some sinful actions. So it's better that instead of taking premature renunciation, work in Krishna consciousness, do nishkam karma yoga in Krishna consciousness. That's what he says. So today we'll start from the 6th Shlok. Let's start that. Sannyasastu mahabaho.
Sannyasastu mahabaho.
Dukkham aptum ayogatah.
Dukkham aptum ayogatah.
Yoga yukto munir brahma.
Yoga yukto munir brahma.
Na chirena digacchati.
Na chirena digacchati.
Sannyasastu mahabaho.
Sannyasastu mahabaho.
Dukkham aptum ayogatah.
Dukkham aptum ayogatah.
Yoga yukto munir brahma.
Yoga yukto munir brahma.
Na chirena digacchati.
Na chirena digacchati. Sannyasastu mahabaho.
Sannyasastu mahabaho.
Dukkham aptum ayogatah.
Dukkham aptum ayogatah.
Yoga yukto munir brahma.
Yoga yukto munir brahma.
Na chirena digacchati.
Na chirena digacchati. Let's see the meaning of the words. Sannyasastu. Sannyas is renunciation, right? Sannyas is renunciation. So there are 2 kinds of renunciation, right? We'll talk about that later. Mahabaho is Arjun. Mahabaho is the name of Arjun, right? Dukkham aptum ayogata. Dukkham aptum means you will incur lot of dukh, lot of sorrow. Why? Ayogata. Yog means, yog comes from yuj dhatu. Yuj means connection, and yog means connected. Ayogata means with someone who is not connected. Ayogata means someone who is not connected. Then yoga yukto. Yoga is again connected. Yukto, someone who is connected. Munir Brahma. Those Muni are connected to Supreme. Na chirena digacchati. Achirena means without. Chir means delay. Achir means without delay. What will happen? they will get the Supreme without delay. Yeah. So let us read the meaning in English first. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person, engaged in devotional service, can achieve the Supreme without delay. So now Krishna is saying to Arjun, Sannyasastu Mahabhavo. Arjun, he explains about the two types of sannyasi. Which are the two types of sannyasi? One is a yog, one who is not connected to God, and someone the second type of sannyasi is yoga yukto. He is connected to Supreme, right? So what happens? Now looks at the two different types of yoga that we have learned so far. So the sannyasi who has who has realized that we are not this body, we are this knowledge, but do not know, he has got that gyan, but has not understood what is the ultimate goal. He has not understood the ultimate goal, but has realized that I am not this body, I am the soul, and I need to work for the soul. So what he does is he wants to renounce all the activity related to body, but is not mature enough to know what is the final destination. So what they do, they go forward in search. They go in forward in search of what is the ultimate. So they are not connected to ultimate. So what will happen? Dukkham aptum ayogatah. Ayog means not connected. So because they don't know the final destination, they are ayog, they are not connected to the Supreme, and they are in search. So on this whole process, they actually get a lot of dukh. Yeah, we'll also read later what is the process they follow. So they actually get a lot of dukh because they're just trying to search without any very definite path. They're trying to read a lot of scriptures, lot of Upanishads, lot of elements, understanding what this whole world is, who am I, all those things they're trying to understand without understanding that there is a Supreme with whom they have to get connected. Yeah, so we have learned these shlokas earlier, and we have talked about this. Well, what is the summary of the Vedas? What we need when we read the Vedas? What are we supposed to understand in the end? Krishna says, Vedasya sarve. He is the final aim, for a final goal. After reading all the Vedas, what you are supposed to understand it, someone realizes that it is the finally he has to be achieved, right? Then similarly, now Yoga Yukto, the other type of sannyasi is what? He already knows the Supreme. He is already connected to Supreme. He knows that Krishna is Supreme and I need to work for him. And he's already surrendered and doing all the work for him. So what will happen? Achirena Digachi. He'll attain the Supreme very soon. So I'll talk about the story of Vedyas. Yeah. And this is from the first canto of Bhagavatam. So Vedyas, he is the one who has written. How many Purans we have? We have 18 Puran. And we have main 108 Upanishads, right? And we have 4 Ved, right? Now, it is Vedyas. He had written all the Purans. He has written Mahabharata. And now, still he's not very happy. And if you it's like it is, the location is Badrinath. Beyond Badrinath, it's a Vedyas Gufa. From there Saraswati Nadi is passing, and he is near the Saraswati, sitting near the Saraswati river, and very he's very not very happy for what he has done till now. He's trying to find, and he's wondering, why am I not satisfied till now? I have written everything that I knew, but why am I not satisfied till now? So at that point of time, his spiritual master, who is Narad Muni, he came, and he said, "Why? What happened, Vedyas? Why are you looking so sorrowful?" So he said that I don't know why I'm not internally satisfied. So he said, Narad said, "Yeah, I understand, but think why." He said, "I'm not able to find, and since you are such a great bhakt, why don't you help me to understand?" So Narad explains to him that, you see, you have written all the Purans, but although you have written Vishnu Puran, you have written Pad Puran, but you have talked about impersonal Brahm. You have written about Upanishads, where it is about how to find the impersonal Brahm. You have talked about how to get do the Karm Kand, where you get the fruitive results. You have explained everything, but you have not explained the real thing, which is about Krishna. You have not talked about everything about the God, which is actually transcends everything, and that is the ultimate goal. And that is the reason although you have talked about that in various scriptures in different places, but there's no one Puran where you have totally written that, which can actually help after reading, can actually help the person to actually go back to Golok. And then Vyas writes Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is the sar of all the Ved, all the Upanishads, that whatever you will achieve reading that, you will actually achieve that by reading Bhagavatam. That is what is the Bhagavatam Puran. It's called Bhagavatam Mahapuran, Srimad Bhagavatam. That is what he wrote. And that is why, because although even Ved Vyas, who is such a great devotee, even he was not satisfied, or he was not happy, because he has not finally understood and connected himself to Krishna, right? There's another example. Which Prabhupada talks in his lectures normally, is about post box, right? He says it's very, very important. Like, when you have to send a letter, when you have to send a letter, if you have not, if you don't put your letter in the authorized post box, what will happen? It will never reach its destination. So you have to know what is the authorized post box is. So you cannot just go here and there and try to do anything, whatever you feel like. There is an authorized process. You have to follow that. You have to get connected to Krishna to get the ultimate happiness, right? That's what he says. So here in summary, he explains that working in devotion is superior, right? Now we go to the next slok. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma.
Yoga yukto vishuddhatma.
Vijitatma jitendriya.
Vijitatma jitendriya.
Sarvabhutatma bhutatma.
Sarvabhutatma bhutatma.
Kurvannapi na lipyate.
Kurvannapi na lipyate.
Yoga yukto vishuddhatma.
Yoga yukto vishuddhatma.
Vijitatma jitendriya.
Vijitatma jitendriya.
Sarvabhutatma bhutatma.
Sarvabhutatma bhutatma.
Kurvannapi na lipyate.
Kurvannapi na lipyate.
Mamita.
Yoga yukto vishuddhatma.
Yoga yukto vishuddhatma.
Vijitatma na jitendriya.
Vijitatma jitendriya.
Sarvabhutatma bhutatma.
Sarvabhutatma bhutatma.
Kurvanapi na lipyate.
Kurvanapi na lipyate. Yoga yukto. Now here Krishna continues the qualities of the person who is Yoga yukt. Yoga yukt is who is connected to God, who is connected to Supreme. So he says the qualities of Yoga yukto is Vishuddhatma. Vishuddhatma is he's a purified soul. He is Vishuddha Atma. That Atma is Vishuddha, so totally purified. Vijit Atma. Vijit Atma is he has control over his mind. He has full control over his mind. And Jitendriya. Indriya is your senses. He has total control over his senses. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Sarva Bhutatma means all living entities. So he is Bhutatma. He is dear to all living entities. Kurvanapi na lipyate. And such, although Kurvanapi, although he is working, na lipyate. He is never entangled. He never gets entangled, right? So let's read the meaning of this. One who works in devotion.
One who works in devotion.
Who is a pure soul.
Who is a pure soul.
Who controls his mind
And controls his mind
and senses, is dear to everyone,
is dear to everyone.
and everyone is dear to him.
And everyone is dear to him.
Though always working,
Though always working,
such a man is never entangled.
such a man is never entangled.
Yeah. So now again, so what Krishna is explaining here is the qualities of the Yog Yukt, the qualities of a sannyasi or a person who knows and who is connected to God, who is doing the devotional service. So he is Vishuddhatma. Now, how do you purify? How you become a purified soul? We have already talked about it multiple times. What do we need to do to become purified? How do we purify? What's the process? By chanting. So we chant. So there are a lot of we'll be talking about that later from 7th chapter onwards, that the entire devotional process. So it is chanting. The more you chant the God name, the more you purify yourself, right? So chanting, hearing about the God's glory. We learned in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, those who learn about, those who hear about my appearance and my activity, they will anyway get liberated. And Bhagavatam is about all his activity and his all thing. So that is what. So it is hearing about Krishna. It is about speaking about Krishna. It is praying to Krishna. So when you do all this, when you are involved in all those activity, what happens? You actually slowly you get purified. And when you start getting purified, you yourself start getting more and more connected to God. You yourself will feel that, instead of seeing, going to a movie, going to a party, you will like to listen to God. You will see a change in yourself, where your attention and yourself, you will start getting enjoyment in that activity. Yeah. And that means you are actually getting purified. Unless unless your senses are purified, you will actually like to do other things and try to run away from God. But then the more you are chanting, the more you are praying, the more you are listening, you'll feel yourself getting attracted towards God, or getting attracted towards listening what he said, getting attracted about him. That talks about your purification level. Yeah, that talks about so that's how. So someone who is a yoga, what will happen? He gets purified. We talked about how the person gets, and when it's purified, when you're getting purified, your mind gets controlled, your senses gets controlled, because it will not run here and there. It will get more focused towards God. Right? Then it says Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. It is someone who is dear to everyone. Now, do you think it's possible that someone can be dear to everyone in this world?
No.
It's so difficult, even with your own sisters, with your own sister-in-law, with your own mother. Even for small things, you start fighting, isn't it? With small things, there's always a difference of opinion. There's an anger. So how can someone be so great? So what qualities? So Kapil Dev, now in the 3rd canto of Bhagavad Gita, Kapil Dev, actually he gives a lecture to his mother, Devhuti. And he talks about the qualities that make someone, the qualities that make him someone Suhidam Sarvabhutanam, who is someone who is like, who is actually loved by everyone. The first quality that person should have is that person has to have extremely tolerant, because this is a world where whatever you do, everything blame will come on you only. Yeah. So you have to be extremely tolerant, because although you are doing good, but everyone will think that no, there must be something, some personal issue, something, So you have to be extremely tolerant. You have to be extremely forgiving, because if you start taking things in your heart, you cannot be able to help anyone. Then you are more bothered about and why it is so? Because it is not because of others, it is because of us. There's no problem with others. It is our internal problem. Because I'm not so matured, because I am not so tolerant, because I'm not so forgiving, that's why I'm not able to adjust with anyone. It is not an other person. It's a problem with us, ourselves. Yeah. So Kapil Dev says, so who needs to change? It is not that mother-in-law needs to change, or sister-in-law needs to change, or the sister needs to change. No, it is I have to change. I need to be more tolerant. I need to be more adjusting. I need to be more forgiving. I need to be more loving. I need to be more caring. I need to be more honest. I need to be more kind. I need to be more compassionate. And these are the real jewels. These qualities are the real jewels of a human being. It is not how much gold you are wearing or how much diamond you are wearing. They all are external things. The real quality is how much kind you are, how much compassionate you are, how much tolerant you are, how much honest you are, how much loving you are, how much forgiving you are. Yeah. And when you have these qualities, what will happen? Everyone like to be with you, because they know that you are the one who will always care for others. So Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. So who is a yogakta, who is a great devotee, what will happen? They are very compassionate, and they take care of everyone. For them, everyone is equal. Right? Yeah. Kurvanap, and such people, Kurvanapi, although they are doing everything, when you look at them externally, they are doing everything like any other human being. But na lipyate, they will never get entangled. They will never get entangled with this material world, because everything they do is for Krishna. Nothing they're doing it for themselves. Even when they are helping anyone, it is always for Krishna. In their heart, they have already given their heart to Krishna. So whatever they're doing, they're actually doing for Krishna. So they will never get entangled. So let's read this, the meaning of this shloka again. One who works in devotion,
One works in devotion,
who is a pure soul,
who is a pure soul,
and who controls his mind and senses,
and who controls his mind and senses,
is dear to everyone,
is dear to everyone,
and everyone is dear to him.
and everyone is dear to him.
Though always working,
Though always working,
such a person
such a person
is never entangled.
is never entangled.
Understood? Yeah. So we go to the next shlok. A very, very important shlok. Naivam kinchit karomiti
Naivam kinchit karomiti,
yukto manyeta tattvavit
yukto manyeta tattvavid,
pashyan shrinuvan sprishan jigran
pashyan shrinuvan jigran,
asnan gachan swapan swanan
asnam gachan swapan sanam,
pralapan visrijan grihan
pralapan visrijan vihan,
unmishan nimishan api
unmishan api,
indriyani indriyartheshu
indriyani indriyateshu,
vartanta iti dharayan
vartanta iti dharayan,
naiva kinchit karomiti
naiva kinchit karomiti,
yukto manyeta tattvavit
yukto manyeta tattvavid,
pashyan shrinuvan sprishan jigrin
pashyan shrinuvan jigran,
asnan gachan swapan shwasan
asnam gachan swapan swasan,
prapan visrijan grihanan
pralapan visrijan grihan,
unmishan nimishan api
unmishan api,
indriyani indriyartheshu
indriyani indriyateshu,
vartanta iti dharayan.
vartanta iti
So
dharayan.
this is two shlok, 8th and 9th. Mataji, please read.
नैव किञ्चित् करोमीति
Naivam kinchit karomiti
युक्तो मन्यत तत्त्ववित्
yukto manyata tattvavit
पश्यन् जिग्रहन्
pashyan shrinuvan sprishan jigran
असन् गच्छन् स्वपन्
ashnan gachan swapan shwasan
प्रलपन्
pralapan visijan grihanan
निमिषन् अपि
unmishan nimishan api
इन्द्रियास्तु
indriyani indriyartheshu
वर्तना इति धारयन्
iti dharayan naivam kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit. So tattvavit is someone who understands the tattva. Tattva is the subconscious, divine conscious. Yeah. Yukto manyeta, someone who is in divine consciousness. What happened? Pashyan. Pashyan means seeing. Pashya means seeing, right? Now shin is listening, hearing. Sprishan means touching. Jigran means smelling. Asnan means eating. Gach means going, moving, going. Then what it is? Gach, swapna. Swapna is sleeping. Shwasan is breathing. Pralapan means talking. Visrijan means what do you call it? Giving up. Visrijan means giving up. Grihan means receiving. Unmisham is closing. Nimishan is opening and closing, right? And Indriyani is senses. Indriyartheshu is sense objects. Vartanta iti dharayan. Now let's read the meaning of it. A person in the divine consciousness,
A person in the divine consciousness,
although engaged in seeing,
although engaged in seeing,
hearing,
hearing,
touching,
touching,
smelling,
smelling,
eating,
eating,
moving,
moving,
sleeping and breathing,
sleeping and breathing,
always knows within himself
always knows within himself
that he actually does nothing at all.
that he actually does nothing at all.
Because while speaking,
Because while speaking,
evacuating,
evacuating,
receiving,
receiving,
or opening or closing his eyes,
or opening or closing his eyes,
he always knows
he always knows
that only the material senses
that only the material senses
are engaged
are engaged
with their objects
with their objects,
and that he is aloof from them.
and that he is aloof from them.
So this shlok, Krishna is talking about a person who is highly, who is highly evolved spiritually, who is highly yogukto, and he's really highly evolved spiritually, who understands that I'm the soul. So what is his behavior? What exactly, how does it happen, right? So this world is made up of 24 elements. This world is made up of, the material world is made up of 24 elements. And what is the 24 elements? First is the gross elements, which are this earth, water, fire, air, ether. Yeah. Then subtle elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Yeah. These are 8 elements, right? Then we have 2 sets of indriyas, which is karmendriya and gyanendriya. What are gyanendriya? From where we get knowledge, which is our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, yeah, and our touch, skin, touch. So from this we get the knowledge. We get the knowledge. This is called Gyanendriya. Then we have Karmendriya. Karmendriya is from where we work. Which are those? Our hands, our legs, our voice, right? 3. Then we have our anus and our genitals. Yeah, these are the 5 indriyas which are Karmendriya, from where we do activities, right? So these are 10 senses. So we talked about the 5 gross elements, we talked about 3 subtle elements, that is 8, and then we talked about 10 senses. Yeah. Then we have tanmatras. What are tanmatras? These senses. Now we kept on talking about sense objects. So what does the Gyanendriyas enjoys or takes input? That is the tanmatras. That is called tanmatras. What does the eyes like to see? Eyes like to see sight, right? Form. It likes to see things. Yeah. So objects. So that objects becomes the tan, that actually there is the input to the eyes. So that becomes 1 tanmatra. Objects, forms, that becomes 1, right? What does the ears like to hear? Sound. So sound becomes the another tanmatra. What does the nose like to smell? Smell, good fragrance, right? That becomes the 3rd one. Now tongue, taste, tasty foods, right? And then with that skin, nice things we want, right? So these are the 5 tanmatras that we have. So that becomes 15. 15 and 8 is 23. So these are the 23 elements, right? And what is the 24th element? 24th element is called pradhan. 24th element is called pradhan. Now what is pradhan? Then there's something called 25th factor, which is called time. So the entire universe, what happens? It gets manifested. It all happens because of time. At some point of time, how it happens? Or we know that we all are living now. Then one day pralaya will come, everything will get unmanifested. When pralaya will come, what will happen? Everything will go. Everything will get lost, right? But still, everything, the living things will remain in an unmanifested state. It is there, but it has not taken birth. And that over the time, so the time is a factor, over the time, again, everything will manifest again. And that is the cycle of the entire universe, the way universe works, right? So everything will get animated. We call it 4 yugs and all, it gets animated. We'll talk about time later, but that is called pradhan. That is the pradhan part of it, which talks about how exactly everything gets unmanifested. Again, with time, it gets manifested, right? So this is all the material world about. Now, even if everything is there, pradhan time is there, still it is incomplete without soul. All these things, who is enjoying, who is actually without soul, it doesn't make sense, right? Now, what is the difference between a dead body and a living body?
The soul.
It's a soul, because a same body, when the soul leaves, everything else is there, but the soul is not there, it becomes dead, right? So to enjoy all this material world, what happens? The soul actually enters into a body, and then the senses becomes alive, and then they can enjoy the sense objects. Are you getting me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Yeah. So all these 24 elements without the soul is incomplete. Yeah. Because unless the soul is there, the body, although the senses are there, but they cannot enjoy the sense objects because there's no consciousness. So once the consciousness comes, then the body can actually enjoy the objects. Right? So we talked about the 24 elements, then we talked about soul, and then we talk about the time, we talked about the time factor, and then we have Paramatma. Yeah, we are now going in the a bit high level, right? Then we have Paramatma. So we'll slowly learn. So this is what the entire material world. Then we have time factor, then we have soul. Because of the soul which enters the body, we have the senses becomes alive, they're able to enjoy the sense elements, but the soul is a part of. Now this shloka talks about the person who has a very clear understanding that I am not this body, but I'm soul. Yeah. So what he very well understands, what he is understanding, that this body, whatever the body is doing, it's seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually is not doing anything. It is the body which is doing it. And he is only observing, sitting inside. It's like in a cage, it's sitting inside and watching everything. Without it, the body cannot function. But the person who is spiritually evolved, he understands that body, it's a body's duty. Body, even if you don't do anything, you will, you eat, automatically you will have to go in the morning to, to the, and evacuate. Right? So it's a process that happens on its own. The body is automatically working. What am I? I am there inside the body, which is enabling the, conscious, because of which the body will do, but he's just sitting and observing. And he also desires, because of which things happen. That we'll read later. But he is actually sitting inside, and Paramatma is also inside. Yeah, he is a super soul which is inside, sitting inside. Understood? Now you're seeing that. So who can, and he also understands that my job is what? I am a soul who is a part of Krishna. So my job is actually to be there. The body will do it, is fine. Now let's read this, the English meaning of this shloka again, with this knowledge that we have learned just now, right? A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening and closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged and their objects, and that he is aloof from them. Are you able to make more sense of this stroke now? Only the senses are engaged with their objects, but he is aloof from them. And now I'll go back to the next slok. So these are the symptoms of a liberated person who really understands. I'll go to the next slok that we read in the 3rd chapter. And the 3rd chapter, we actually read a slok, which is the 27th slok. We read, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. You don't know it. You just listen to this one. The 3rd chapter, 27th slok, what we read was, you may remember this, Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma karta ham iti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego. What is the meaning of false ego? False ego means when the spirit soul does not understand that it is different than the body, it thinks that I am the body, then it is a false ego. That's a false ego. Right? So when the spirit soul knows that I am different and body is different, then it is evolved. Then it is evolved, right? So the spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are actually carried by the 3 modes of material nature, which are actually carried by the karmas, by the 3 modes in which gun you are in sattva gun, rajas gun, and the tamo gun, in which gun you are. We read that in the 3rd chapter. Remember this slok? Yeah. So, but the thing, so this is what it is. So this someone who is the liberated person will know that I am not the doer. So the question is, Yeah. So what is the symptoms of a liberated person? He very clearly knows that he is not the doer. He is sitting in the, it's like, a car. Think about a car and a driver. Yeah. Now imagine you have purchased a new car, a big brand new Mercedes you have brought. Yeah. And you are taking that out. And on a MG road, someone comes and crashes on that. What will be your reaction?
Angry.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very angry.
Frustrated.
Frustrated, angry, right? Yeah. Why?
Because we think that because that the car is like our car and it has involved any money, money.
Right? Yeah. So because you are the driver in the car, but because you're so much attached to the car, so when the car is crushed, you are like, you get up and you start shouting, and because it is your car, it is your, yeah, because you are not able to differentiate that I'm the driver and this is a car, it's a material thing, it will get to it tomorrow. Yeah, yeah. So you are not able to differentiate between the driver and the car. You think it's me. Yeah. But then someone who is evolved understands, okay, it's I'm fine. The car has got damaged, it will get repaired. It had to happen, it's happened. So your reaction, so it means the person who is liberated, who is much evolved, will understand and know that the car is a body, and the driver is the soul. And they're two different things. That is a and will not get angry about it. Okay. But the person who is attached to the soul and body is attached to too much body, you'll start getting shouting on it, right? Clear? Yeah. So these are symptoms of bondage. We can see very clearly, understand from this example. So soul is totally aloof. That's what we understood, right? Let's go to the next shlok now. Shlok number 10. Brahmanyadhyaya kar. Ready? Brahmanyadhyaya karmani. Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha. Lipyate na sa papena. Padam patram vimambhasa. Brahmanya adhyaya karmani. Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha. Lipyate na sa papena. Padam patram vimambhasa. Mataji.
Brahmanyadhyaya karmani.
Brahmanyadhyaya karmani. Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha. Lipyate na sa papena. Padmapatram imambhasa. So now let's read the meaning of this. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful reaction, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Yeah. So in this shlok, there are three things Krishna is talking about. Now it's a continuation of the old shlok about the soul which is aloof. So what is the soul doing? Sangam tyaktva karotiya. What is the soul doing? Sangam tyaktva. Sangam is attachment. Tyaktva is leaving that. So he's doing all the duty without attachment, because he knows I'm the soul, I'm separate than this body. So he knows his job, and he's doing all the duty without attachment. But he's doing all his prescribed duty. For an external person who doesn't know the inner consciousness of that person will look like any other person doing everything. The only difference is it's a consciousness by which you are doing the job, that you understand. Others may not understand, and others need not understand, because it is internal to you. With what consciousness you are doing is only known to you. Yeah. And others need not understand. For everyone else, you are a normal human being the way everyone does. So whether you are liberated, even living in this world, doing all the grihast work you are doing, you can be very well liberated. You don't have to go to Himalayas, sit there and be a yogi and think what to do. No. Very much in this life, doing all your prescribed duty, living the way you are, you can be very much liberated. How you can be liberated? It's upon your consciousness about how you are handling your body and soul, and what are you doing with your soul. Because soul needs the activity of, your job should always be with Krishna, for Krishna. Yeah. And doesn't mean that, you are only sitting and chanting and doing and not doing. No, no, no. You have to do your prescribed duty, whatever duty as a wife, as a mother, as daughter-in-law, as a daughter, and whatever your role is in the world, you have to play all those roles to the best of your ability. The best of your ability. But you can be still unattached. So this is what is talking about? That the liberated soul, how will he do? Sangam tikta kroti. Will do all the prescribed duty, but without any attachment. Now, when you are not attached to something, you will not get hurt. It will be so easy for you to forgive because you're not attached. You can also easily forgive the person. You can, because then because you are attached to your body. He told me all those things happen. But when you're not attached, you know that okay, this person, okay, this is a relation, this is been given in this life. Let me do my work. Fine, I'm okay. Thank you. Even a person curse, say thank you. Move on. You will not get angry. Right? Nothing will happen to you. The other person may get angry, but you will remain peaceful. So now this example, Sangam Tektva, because you are attached, what will happen? And then the question is, but I'm doing activities. What to do? What should I do with the results that's happening with the activity? You are saying that you continue doing your duty, but then what some fruits is happening. So what will happen? What will that liberated person will do? Brahmanyadhaya karmani. Will give all the results to Krishna, to the Supreme. So you know that nothing is mine, and you have given it back to him. Right? When you go to Ganga, you take the Ganga water, you give it back to Ganga. Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. Nothing is mine. Nothing was mine. I'm just here. I'm just doing what you made me here. I'm here because of my karma. I'm doing my activity and I will do my activity and I'll go back. Once you have the relation, you will get angry. You will have the power to tolerate. You'll have the power to forgive. Understood? Yeah. So now in this shlok, 3 things Krishna says. He's saying, Sangam tikta karoti. All your activity, what the liberated person will do is without attachment. And the results of karmani, brahmanyadhyaya karmani. All the karma reaction goes back to Supreme, will get offered to Krishna, to Supreme. And then what will happen? The result of that, what will happen is the second line. Lipyate na sa papena. Lipyate means will not get affected. What will not get affected from any sin? And how? Just like padam patram vibhavasa. How would we see the lotus leaf? It's in the water. And when water comes out, it's all in the dirt, dust. It's all in the dirty water. But the lotus leaf is never touched by the dirt. It is always pure. And if a drop of water comes, nothing can attach it. It will again fall. Similarly, if you are working like this, if you are living like this, sin cannot touch you. Because you are not attached. You are looking like that, but you are not, because it doesn't matter to you. You are already given yourself to Krishna. Nothing else matters. Isn't it? All your activity you are doing for Krishna, but you're doing all your activity just like any human being. Yeah? So nothing will impact, and that's what it should be. No pain, nothing. Yeah? Just like a patram vihausa, the lotus leaf in the water. So that's what Krishna explains. So when someone is a liberated person, then this is what will happen. This is how he can live, right? So fruits are not mine. Then whose results are not only your efforts. So sometimes we saw there was a very good example I heard. It's about a person. Think about a person who is you can see from the answers that you will. So say a person is going on the road, and he finds a purse. He finds a purse lying down on the road, right? And he just, so there are 3 reactions that a person will do. What will the first reaction? Pick it up, and then what will you do?
Keep it or try to give it to the person or give it to the person. Search for the person who has somebody who's
Everyone has a different answer, right? Yeah, so there are 3 possibilities. You look at it, you'll open, you'll see money, you'll keep it, and you move on without thinking. That's a general way people do. Yeah. Second will take it, will think, oh no, you'll look at, but oh, it's not mine. You'll move forward. Why should I take the, I'll not touch it also and move forward. Third person will look at it, will think, oh, pata nahi kiska paisa gir gaya, let me help that person. Try to find the address in that purse, try to go and knock at the door, or at least go to the police and say, this is there, why don't you, help this person to find, and we'll move on. 3 probabilities. Now look at this behavior and who is that person? Yeah. Now the first person who has just picked up the purse and has taken the money and just gone by, he is a materialistic person. He is the materialistic person. So what he is doing, he's actually his normal behavior will be use whatever is coming to me and doesn't want to return anything back to God. And what did Krishna say in the second chapter, third chapter? That the people who takes, because everything is provided by God. If water is not there, today we are suffering for water. If water is not there, none of the grains will grow. When none of the grains grow, you can't eat. When you don't eat, you don't get energy, you can't do anything. If there is no air, you can't breathe. Nothing is ours, everything is his. So the materialistic person, well, he will not bother about it. He's basically a thief. He's a thief because he doesn't want to return back to God. He just wants to enjoy, and he will always remain entangled with this world. Yeah. The second person who looks at it, moves on, is a renouncer. Renouncer, what? He's a sannyasi. He'll think, why should I bother? Leave it, let me go. I don't want to touch it and get polluted by that and get a sin. He'll move forward, right? That will be the behavior of a sannyasi. It's more like a jnana yogi. But he doesn't know what should be done. He doesn't know the final thing, what he actually should do. The third person is more like a devotee. He will think about it. He will take the money, take the address, try to go and find out the person, or at least give it to the police so that actually he may find, call and say, did you get the purse? I saw this one. So he will ensure that the money reaches there. Yeah. So such person is what he'll understand, and he wants to return the things to God, and will always remain disconnected, and because they're very honest, very pure. Yeah. And so this shows the behavior, the 3 behaviors and the 3 type of people that we see around, right? Many people may ask that, oh, why should I give? I have worked. I have done all my work. I have got the money. And then why should I give it to God? Right? It's a very common question that will come to the mind. Yeah? Yeah? Come on, you had been working. You work from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Yeah, every day. And why should you go and give the money to God? It's mine. Give me. Right? Yeah, that's a very common question, which is very common, which is very correct. That will come in the mind because the person does not have the realization that yes, what you have also achieved. Imagine you have got it from God only. As we said, nothing. You can't even eat if water is not there, if food grains are not there. You won't even have energy to go and work. One day water doesn't come and we don't drink water, what will happen? Slowly we'll die. Nothing can happen. And all those things that we need is a basic necessities all free from God. Yeah. So we have to give it back. If we don't give it back, we are thieves, and we'll continue to incur sins. We'll continue to remain in bondage. Clear? Yeah. Clear? Now we go to the next slok, which is a slok number 11. कायेन मनसा बुद्धया केवल इंद्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति संगम त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये कायेन मनसा बुद्धया केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति संगम त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये कायेन मनसा बुद्धया केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति संगम त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये. Let's read the meaning now. The yogis abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with senses, only for the purpose of purification. So now again he continues with the behavior of the yogis, the liberated person, what they will do, what they let's look at the Tyaktvatma Shuddhe. What there is Sangam Tyaktva, the second line, second part. Sangam Tyaktva. What will happen? Leaving, abandoning all attachment. And then Kayen means body. Manasa means mind. Buddha means intelligence. By what they will do? Act with body, mind, and intelligence. Kevalain Indriyarapi. And also by their, also even with their senses, Indriya senses, right? And for what? Karma kurvan. They'll only do the karma for Shuddhaye, to purify yourself. Yeah. So they will do all the activity that they need to do by their body, by their mind, by their intelligence, by their senses. Always their focus will be to purify it, purify themselves. Yeah. So there's in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, there's a story about Rishabdev. Rishabdev is again a incarnation of Krishna, right? Similarly, Kapil Dev, we talked about 3rd canto, is also an incarnation of Krishna, Vishnu, right? So Rishabdev had 100 sons. He had 100 sons. The first son, our country, Bharat, has been named after his first son. Yeah, Bharatvarsha. And so what he told to his sons, he said to his son that you need to do as many austerities as possible, not for material gain, but for spiritual advancement, for purification of your body. Got it? We have to do not for like, okay, let me do this for that I enjoy more fruits. No. The more fruits you enjoy, the more you are actually getting into the bondage, and the more you are getting to the cycle of birth and death. Yeah. But what we and more into the cycle of birth and death means more and more sufferings. More and more suffering, right? So what we have to do? We have to purify ourselves. We have to try to come out of the cycle of birth and death and for that, first of all, we have to do all these austerities. We have to connect so that we purify ourselves by the process, and then we can start understanding, and then our connection will become stronger. The more it becomes stronger, the easily we can break the bondage of birth and death, right? We go to the next shlok, which is the last shlok for today. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Let Mataji.
Yukta karma phalam tyaktva.
Yukta karma phalam tyaktva
Shantim apnoti naishtikim.
shantim apnoti naishtikim
Ayukta kamakarena.
ayukta kamakarena
Phale sakto nibadhyate.
phale sakto nibadhyate. Let's read the meaning. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace
Attains unadulterated peace.
because he offers the result of all activities
Because he offers the result of all activities
to me.
to me.
Where is a person
Whereas the person
who is not in union with the divine,
who is not in union with the divine,
who is greedy for the fruits of his labor,
who is greedy for the fruits of his labor,
becomes entangled.
becomes
Now, this is a summary shlok of all the shlok that we read from shlok number 6 to 11. Now, here Krishna concludes saying that the two out of the two type, one is a yukta, one who is connected to Krishna, a yukta who is not connected to Krishna. So, what is the behavior of a yukta? Yukta karma phalam tyaktva. All the karma phal, all the results of the activity, fruits of the, will leave it. Tattva means leave it. And when they do that, what will happen? Shantim apnoti naishtikim. Naishtikim means, it's unadulterated. It is like, which can be only experienced by a liberated person. Shanti, what the peace? It is an unadulterated peace that person will get. It's like divine peace because you're not attached. When you're attached to things, then only you feel, oh, mine is gone, it's not. But when you're not attached to things, nothing will happen. You will not get those feelings, those dualities that we talked about. sad. Why do we feel sad and happy? Because we are connected to a thing, right?
Attached.
Attachment, because we are connected. If we lose that, why did that car, when it gets, we felt? Because we are connected, we are attached. Yeah, the sad and it's all because of our attachment. But when you're not attached, even if it happens, even if it is of very, very precious things to you, you know that it was a gift of God given to you, it's been taken away. That's it. Nothing was mine. All the relations we are in here is all temporary. It has been just given to us by God. Because of our karma, because of their karma, because we all have come into this. If that realization is there and we live, things have to go. It's a temporary world. We all have to go. So what will happen? The attachment, you don't live and you know, and you get attached to something which is permanent, then what will happen? You will never miss. Normally, when a mother and a child, the mother spends all the time in his life to bring up the child. And what happens one day, the child grows up 12th standard and then they do college and then they get married and they go away. And then the mother is totally broken. Because throughout from birth till 16, 17 years, the child was the only focus of the mother. And mother forgot everything else, but the child and the husband, that's what their life was. Right? Right? That's what her life was that. Now there's a vacuum. Vacuum and she doesn't know what to do.
Into depression.
She goes into depression, a normal thing. But the thing is, everyone has to go. But if the mother would have been directly kept, had remained connected with Krishna right from beginning and or continues or connect with Krishna, then just like you did for Krishna, child, you have to do for Krishna. You have to wake up in the morning, you have to feed the breakfast, you have to give the lunch to the Krishna, you have to bathe the Krishna, you have to dress the Krishna, you have everything is there. You are never free. You have so much service for Krishna. You have to work for Krishna so that you can give him good food. You have to do everything for the Krishna. You have to work for Krishna so you get enough money so you can actually take care of Krishna's requirements. You can actually go around and to the places of Krishna and take care of him there. So when are you free? You are always, till you are alive, you are never free. You are totally attached with your. So that attachment is a permanent attachment. He never goes away. He's there with you always. Isn't it? Isn't it? Hmm? So someone who is yukta will have the unadulterated peace. Will never feel a loss of anything because there's no loss. You're always connected to permanent.
Work with detachment.
You work with detachment because you know that everything else is temporary.
And only
This is permanent. So that peace is, any loss is not a big loss for you because of that connection that you have. Right? But someone who's ayukta, who's not connected, kam karena phalen, wants to enjoy the fruit of the work that they're doing, sakto phalen sakto nibadyate, will always remain entangled. Wants to enjoy, will always, because running, you always remain entangled. Got it? So we have to live our life with Krishna in the center, do all your activities, but he should be the center. Purify yourself, chant as many rounds as you can. The more you chant, the more you are connected to him. And your connection, it is a lost connection. We all know Krishna says we all are part and parcel of him. So it's a lost relation. Revive that connection, strengthen that connection, hear about him. Where do you have time? Whenever you get time, think about, listen to him. There's so many things to listen about him. You'll not miss anything in the world. It's so beautiful life. Right? So with this, I will end today's Gita class, but I wanted to continue with something else today. That's why I wanted to finish it early. And today, it's Holika Dahan. So I just wanted to, tomorrow. Yeah. So today I wanted to, talk about the glories of Prahlad Maharaj, and especially with respect to Holika Dahan, which is today. And I hope that in the evening she will talk about that. So the story goes like this. So we all, what happens was, Kashyap Muni's wife Diti, she was blessed with 2 sons. Kashipu and Hiranyaksh. They were the two brothers, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh. Right? Now, these two brothers, they went and, won over all the devtas and drove and won over the Svarglok and all. And Hiranyaksh and wanted to, he took the earth and had also put them in the Patalok. And then at that point of time, Vishnu came in the form of Varaha and had brought the thing up and he had killed Hiranyaksh. Now, Hiranyakashipu became very angry and wanted to, take revenge. So he went and started doing a lot of meditation. He went and he did enough austerity. And when he was doing that, what happened? Indra said, this is the right opportunity for me to go and attack and get everything back. And, so this is what he did. And he went and killed all the devtas, went and killed all the demons. And and then Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayadu, she was in the palace. And she said, Indra said, no, go and kill her also. And when one of the demigods taking Kayadu, so Indra, Narad Muni came and said that Kayadu, you can't kill her because she's, so Indra said, no, she's expecting a baby and it's important to kill that also so that, except for Hiranyakashipu, everyone is dead. So Hinara said, no, you can't do anything to her. The child which is with Kayadu is going to be a great devotee of Vishnu. So what he did was, he actually took Kayadu and to his ashram, Narad's ashram, and she stayed with Narad and did service to Narad and chanted along with Narad. And you can imagine the association of Kayadu. She was with Narad, and similarly Prahlad, the baby that was born was Prahlad. Now, when Hiranyakashipu there, he actually did so much austerity that Brahma became happy, and he asked for boon that he should not get killed by anyone, no human, no animal, and neither by weapon, nor in the day, nor in the evening, nor inside the house, outside the house. All those conditions he took from Brahma, and finally, what happened is, and Brahma said, Evamastu. So it was granted, and Hiranyakashipu thought now he is the supreme lord, and he came back and asked everyone that no one can pray anyone, it's only him, and everyone should pray to him. So now when Kayadu came along with Prahlad, so Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, he had sent to him to Gurukul. There their teachers started teaching him. But he was like very clear, Hiranyakashipu has asked everyone that, they should only pray to him. But when Prahlad came, he asked Prahlad, tell me who should you pray to? He said, Vishnu. Vishnu is the God. He said, who told you this? He called the teachers and scolded them a lot. What are you teaching to him? Go and teach him properly. Again, after some time, he called Prahlad. Prahlad said, no. Vishnu is the God, and I only pray to Vishnu. But Hiranyakashipu got very angry. He tried his best to kill him. He actually threw him from the top of the hill. He put poison, elephants, tried to kill him under the foot of elephant. He tried many ways to kill Prahlad. And then he also called his sister Holika. Holika was blessed with by Brahma by a shawl which could protect her from fire. So what happened was, when Holika came, Holika said, okay, don't worry, brother, I will take him and I have got this shawl, so put fire, I will sit on that and he will die and I will come out safely. So what happened was, then Hiranyakashipu was very happy. He put that fire, and Holika sat along with Prahlad in her lap. Prahlad was only saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He was only remembering God. And what happened? Finally, wind blew. The shawl actually covered Prahlad, and Holika died. So this is winning of good over evil. And finally, what happened was, Hiranyakashipu tried in all ways to kill Prahlad, but he was unsuccessful, and he called finally to his palace and said, okay, you say Vishnu is everywhere. Is he here? He said, yes, he is here. Is he in this pillar? He said, yes, I can see he is in this pillar. He said, okay, then let me in. What he did, he actually broke the pillar, and Narasimha came out of that and killed Hiranyakashipu. Narasimha, that's why Narasimha is neither a man, or he is a half human and half lion. He has got big nails through which he actually killed Hiranyakashipu, and neither it was inside the house, neither outside the house, it was on the Chokat of the house where he sat. Yeah. So this is how. So when you are totally yukta, he is there. He is always will come forward and save. So today with this, let's celebrate Holi. Let's celebrate the Holika Dahan. And tomorrow is Gaur Purnima, the birthday of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. Okay. So with this, I'll close today's session. Hare Krishna. Let us chant Hare Krishna. Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.